Welcome to the Four Brewers Podcast. My name is John Holzer, and as always, I'm joined by
Jason motherfucking Harris,
Greg Nagel.
And this week and going forward, we have a new member on the show. We've parted ways with Tim, and it was amicable, and it was time for him to move on. He's traveling the world.
Tim's too busy gallivanting around the world to deal with our bullshit.
He's actually living a full life, turns out. And, we're still sitting in a room drinking beer, talking to
Jealous
a computer.
of Tim right now.
So we've had this person on the show before a couple times, I think a couple times remotely, one time in person, a long time ago. And that person is Joe Senigaglia.
What's up, dudes?
Woo!
What up, Joe?
Woo! Woo!
Please clap.
People may know Joe
golf
from
clapped.
Joe's Arcade on YouTube. What else do you do, Joe? What's your other stuff?
That's all I do, actually,
That's
beer-wise. It's all YouTube, yeah. I used to have, like, beer stuff on my Instagram, and then I kind of went away from that, and it became, like, YouTube's really the only thing I got going on.
It's the bread and butter.
It is.
It's the malt and the hops.
You're like slowly getting up there in subscribers too. Like, you're at 6,000-ish or something like that? Somewhere around there? I think that's around what you're
I don't
at.
know. It might have gone over, it might be over 8,000 now.
Oh, wow.
I never really, like, paid attention to that just because there's plenty of, like, channels like mine that have that many subscribers, but the views are low. So it's like, does it really matter how many people, like, hit subscribe and then forget to watch your videos? I don't know.
No, not really. And usually you'll hear big YouTubers talk about how 60% of their or 70% of their viewers are not subscribers anyway. I think that's kind of due to how YouTube works, like their algorithm. Because there's lots of stuff that pops up on my home feed and the Google, YouTube home feed, like their feed of what they want to show me. I kind of like it. It's like my favorite one of all the services out there. And there's channels that I watch their videos all the time. I'm not subscribed. It's just because I don't know I'm not subscribed, you know?
I don't like it, though, in that, like, there will be channels that I chose to subscribe to, but I haven't clicked on in a week, and they're like, no, you just want to see 14 other things related to the video you clicked on last week.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I want to see, like, yeah, maybe, but also, can you show me the channels I fucking picked?
I think their idea there is like, you just subscribe to this person. You're excited to watch what they're making, right? So check it out. You can watch it nonstop for 4 hours. Like, no, it's cool, man. Like, I watched a video and I'll watch another video, I don't know, tomorrow maybe. Like, but your home feed is just clogged with their stuff for a couple days and it is kind of annoying.
It's all shorts. I watched one episode of Joe's Arcade last week, and then now it's all Joe's shorts.
And those shorts
all
are
day.
like,
That's
those
so
things,
funny,
I think, I wouldn't say they're hit or miss, but some...
I think they're great.
Like skyrocket in views. Like Joe, you
That's
started.
fine.
Your wife
That's rad.
actually, I think, told you to start doing shorts, and so you're just
Yeah.
chopping up old videos and making clips.
Yeah, she said I should go, like, do TikTok. I'm like, there's not a chance I'm doing TikTok because first of all, I have no idea how to do that, but
It's literally the exact same thing in a different app. You know,
Yeah.
have you used Reels? That's them copying TikTok. It's just all those TikTok videos 2 weeks later.
yeah. But I noticed that, like, all the shorts that I made out of macro logger videos get a ton of views and a ton of people, like, interacting with it. It's crazy.
Yeah, my biggest video when I was doing review videos is Heineken 00.
Yeah.
And it's a controversial video too, because I'm like, and my take on that beer was like, hey, this tastes like Heineken. Like, it just tastes like Heineken, but there's no alcohol.
People are
in
upset
it.
about
This is
that?
crazy. And they're like, what do you mean it just tastes like beer? I'm like, come on. Like, will you chill for it? Like, Heineken's garbage, and it's even more garbage now. You
That's
guys
why-
need to fucking
That's
get a
why we
life.
don't read the comments on YouTube.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing Joe does is he's not only does he post videos, he's actually interactive and responds to people, and like he's a good YouTuber. Like, he's doing the right thing on YouTube.
Cultivated a community over there. Those fucking jackals over there.
I try and respond to everyone.
And as a result, he gets some really tasty stuff and interesting stuff that maybe
true.
one day we'll get to try. So
I got 14 guys tell me I'm saying Genesi wrong.
It's Ganesi.
if you watch the video, you guys say it right the first time, and then Matt says that, and it goes off
It
the rails.
devolves.
So I forgot what I was going to say about Joe, but anyway, so yeah, Joe's on the show. We're pretty excited about it. Tim, it was fun having Tim on the show. He was on during a very weird time, like when COVID happened, and kind of worked out for him to be on a podcast where he could do it from home because we weren't going anywhere. So, and his plan, since he left Untapped, as far as I know, was to travel and do, because they have a son. Him and his wife have a son, and they homeschool. And part of their curriculum is actually going to places that he's learning about. And so, COVID hit, and they couldn't do that, and that was kind of a bummer. So now he's doing that. So, Tim, we love you, and
Best of luck,
maybe
friend.
maybe he'll be back on the show one day.
Love Timmy.
But we are back. It's been a while since we did the show.
Been a while.
We said that the last
Eagle-eyed
time.
viewers may be saying, you guys have said you're back at least once before, maybe twice.
We're back.
I don't know.
This will be the last show ever.
Yeah, it's been twice.
We really mean it this time.
That's going to be our shtick. Every show is going to be the last. No, we're no, it's not the last. We're back.
Yeah, every show's a comeback show.
We're just back.
It makes it exciting.
It's
you know?
always a comeback, dude. Yeah. It's like how all the YouTubers are like, they fake that they're leaving YouTube. They'll be like, why I'm quitting YouTube. They're like, I'm not actually.
Yeah.
It's like when Snoop Dogg went smokeless.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, that pissed me off so bad.
Well, technically, he said he's given up the smoke, and turns out it's for a fire pit.
I fucking you should get punched in the nuts for that one.
I thought he was going to get into like vapes or something.
Yeah, I thought it was a
Shizzle.
vape angle. Or like edibles.
Or
some
edibles,
shit.
yeah.
Yeah. So we gonna talk some beer news?
Well,
what are we
before we
talking
get into
about?
beer news, just real quick. So the new format going forward is we're going to release every other week. And that's for two reasons, maybe more than two. But the two that come to my mind are, one, I don't like editing the podcast. It's kind of a boring thing to do.
Number one,
So
I'm
right
lazy.
now we're going to ease back into doing it twice a month.
Just
And the other
ease back
reason
in,
is,
baby.
yeah, I have to work. I'm on call for work at least one weekend per month. So I guess we could do 3 shows per month, but whatever. I like the idea of doing a show every other week. So moving forward, that's how it's going to go. Our next stream is on the 26th, I believe, of
Considering
May.
we're on an every other year schedule right now, I think every
Yeah.
other week's a significant improvement.
It's a great improvement. So yeah, I think that's going to be more manageable for me. We're going to be making some changes with our Patreon setup too. I haven't done that yet. We're not going to get into details about it, but we are going to start doing more Patreon stuff. The most notable thing we're going to do is, since we decided to come back, we decided that we're going to start having like a monthly planning meeting. So we're just not going into these shows blind and, without any kind of, I don't know, focus on something. Like this week we're doing Green Cheek beers. So we went out and got all the same beers. So we have the same beers. We're not doing 16 beers on the show.
I think the idea is we want to get a bit closer to the studio experience, even though we're still doing the show remote, right? So I think we talked and we realized that it had gotten a little chaotic when we were all fucking, goddamn, Greg's got like a goddamn light flashing out of his fucking throwing me, you son of a bitch. But we realized this show had gotten kind of chaotic with all of us just kind of drinking whatever random shit we found last minute. And so we're trying to get back to a little bit more of a format, a little bit more consistent, something easier to follow for y'all, and hopefully should be a better show for everybody. But let us know what y'all think. So that's it.
And going back to the Patreon thing, with this monthly planning meeting, I think one of the things we're thinking about doing is making that live stream open to our supporters on Patreon, so they can, if they want to just, it's kind of like getting a third show, except where it's not going to be structured the same way. It's going to be us just kind of
Or you can
bullshitting.
influence what we do on the show.
Yeah, I was going to say,
hey,
if you have
you guys
ideas,
should do this.
Yeah, if you want to send us beers and say I can do this, and you can, hop on and do whatever. And I think if I was, supporting a show on Patreon, I think that'd be pretty cool to see the behind the scenes thing. It's like nothing special. It's just what we're doing now, except a little different. But still, it's like getting the third show. So yeah. So Jason, we got some news items to talk about because this is part of our new organized setup here.
Are we drinking a beer now, or what? I forgot.
Well,
what we do
I opened
here,
a beer.
honestly.
We're not talking about the beers yet. I opened the wheat beer that we're going to be doing. So if you guys want to crack that open,
we're highlighting Green Cheek today. Don't guzzle the wheat. We can kind of talk about it a little bit.
Don't
we're gonna
guzzle
do the
the wheat.
news up top. We're doing a format now, guys. We're trying. The main thing I saw in the beer news, there's a bit about Ballast Point. We're going to do, spoiler alert, Ballast Point's going to be our next show. So we'll talk about that then. But World Beer Cup. Is there anything in there that you guys thought was interesting? I see that in our list.
Yeah, World Beer Cup. I mean, I only track the Orange County stuff, but we generally here in Orange County win like 12 to 14 medals or something like that. And then I think we got like 13 or 14. There's always like, it's either like a big IPA year, which if you count Long Beach somewhere in there, like ISM got gold for West Coast IPA. Everywhere got their first medal. I think a bronze for Hoppy Lager, as well as Green Cheek in the same category. So 2 breweries right down the street from each other, doubling up with North Park down San Diego for Hoppy Lager. So it was like, what I love about it is to see West Coast IPA firmly planted here in Southern California.
As
There's nobody that's going to take that fucking spot.
What I've learned talking to people, like I have a beer chat that, you know, is people from around the country, a lot of Chicago people, a lot of everything there. And as it turns out, good West Coast IPA is hard to come by if you're off the West Coast.
Yeah, especially in Europe. Oh my God.
But like people in like the Midwest and stuff, they're saying, yeah, you just can't come by like good clear IPA. It's like starting to come back, but the Hazy Boys really took over out there. So sorry for that, everybody. That sucks.
We need to get more collabs with these like Midwest breweries going on with SoCal breweries to kind of, I don't know, spread the goodwill of West Coast IPA. And because it's, I mean, and I'm not saying it's easy to make, but it's not like it's this mysterious beer to brew well. Like, I mean,
I would argue that a good West Coast IPA is very rare. So it's unusual. You go to a random small brewery and like odds are their IPAs suck shit.
Not only that, but I think the brewing process of West Coast IPA changes every year. So I think the dudes that usually win it, like Bob from Highland Park and Evan Price and Casey McNair, I think they're all in a chat group and they all talk about like what are the like tiny micro switches that you can pull when you're brewing West Coast IPA. And I think they all sort of convene and do their own thing because they seem to strike magic every time they brew it. It's no like secret. Like,
so you mean like it's evolving, like they're trying new techniques
every
to
year
see
it's
what
different.
Works and what doesn't. And
what hop farmers, what malt, what yeast, how to treat things. It's definitely a science.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not saying it's easy, but I mean, if you're a brewery that's open, I think you should at least have one good IPA. Maybe not necessarily a West Coast IPA, but something that's not malt heavy and it's, you know, just a good drinking IPA. But
Preach, brother.
Yeah, this year on the World Beer Cup, they didn't have the. They usually give out like plaques or something for World Beer Cup, where GABF is like a medal. And they didn't have the plaques made. I don't know if this was on purpose or what, but if you won, you got a sash to wear, which was weird.
The Brewers Association, I think the Brewers Association is going through some tough times. I know there's issues with the National Homebrewers Association as well, with them taking away, like HomebrewCon is now going to be part of GABF, and that's like,
or is it part of
like
CBC?
Pissed.
No, it's GABF. Yeah, that's
GABF.
Right.
Yeah, they're gonna have like a special hall for homebrewers and stuff like that, and that's just like, dude, the homebrewers go to homebrewer things because it's homebrewery. They don't want to be part of GABF.
Yeah,
and
homebrew stuff is it's still beer, but it's like completely different from the professional thing.
Right.
I mean, things get really experimental and I don't know. It's a bunch of like science geeks getting together to be nerds. Where GABF is, you know, it's generally just fans of beer, and it's a different vibe.
I mean, last weekend I went to the Southern California Homebrewers big party,
festival?
Basically. Yeah, festival. It's like we take over the campground. There's an entire campground full of homebrewers and homebrew clubs. And some, you know, amazing beers. Like I had some good lambics from the Society of Barley Engineers down in San Diego. Those guys are always just killing it. It's like the same thing you can get at a professional brewery, but there's just like, there's some dude who just makes the shit in his backyard, and it's amazing.
Yeah, this is the third year where I bought a ticket and didn't go. So
luckily it's $50.
I think nowadays too, like experimentation is there's much less experimentation out in the market anymore, right?
Correct.
Especially with packaged beer. So I think more than 5 years ago, I think homebrewing has a place because the market has become very not rigid, I guess, but it's very defined, and there's certain styles that are what is being sold everywhere. And that's
you got hoppy. They're like most beer boards at just any good brewery has like a hoppy board, and then they have like a lager board, and then maybe a stout or two. And that's.
I think Highland Park has light, hoppy, hazy, dark.
Yeah, and that's great.
That's their four categories.
Yeah. But most of it, like all the hoppies, all IPA. Most of the lagers are like some sort of hoppy lager. It's like if you're not into hops, like my wife, she's like, "What do you have that's like not hoppy?" And sometimes even like the stout is like way over the top.
At least with Highland Park, they have light stuff. They're next to Dodger Stadium. They have multiple audiences they cater to.
Yep.
But the other thing we were talking about, we just saw Greg posted the top 50 breweries in the U.S. last year.
Oh, baby.
Out. And this is we were digging into this list, and it's kind of fun and kind of weird, especially because we haven't looked at it in a while. Have you seen this list, Joe?
I was looking at it this morning, yeah, and half of it didn't make any sense to me.
It's hard. You had to translate it because I looked up a 10 years ago list. Okay. And what's funny is that one doesn't have any like holding companies or LLCs or anything up there. Right. They're all brands. They're all singular brands. And like the top 3 are kind of the same ones. But it gets really weird. Some of the ones from 10 years ago, they're gone, I think, because buyouts. Lagunitas isn't on there anymore. New Belgium isn't on there anymore. Bell's isn't on there anymore. Deschutes was on there 10 years ago, and they're not now. They weren't bought, though, were they? I think maybe they just dropped in volume. Oh, yeah, they're on the new one. They're just lower.
Okay. Yeah, I see number 12.
Stone is gone. I mean, Stone's owned by Sapporo, right? So they're gone.
Yep. The biggest shock for me was to see Boston Beer Company at number 2.
Yeah.
You know what? That's actually why I looked up 10 years ago, because I thought they were always number 1, but Yuengling was number 1 10 years ago.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Boston beer is not just the beer; it's the seltzers and don't they do cocktail things now? And I mean,
they
kind of do everything.
Teas, and I think they do more of that than they do beer anymore. But
what else is Yuengling though? Because Yuengling doesn't even come out this way. Like it doesn't go how far.
That's just
west
how
does it
far
stop?
they sell on the East
They're
Coast.
just
I think
on the eastern seaboard, basically,
and they're just how are they number 1? It's just massive.
It's everywhere. It's on tap everywhere. It's like in every grocery store.
Yeah, they're
it's
just
crazy.
the default beer for a bunch of really populated areas, and they're still independent. So,
let's see. Other notable things on here is number 10 is Athletic Brewing Company. I think that's the first time I've seen a NA beer maker somewhere in the top 50.
They're full NA, right?
Yeah, they're only NA, and they're selling so much NA volume that they're the 10th highest selling brewery. Like they're right above New Glarus. They're above Deschutes.
That's wild.
Yeah. Allagash, Harpoon, Three Floyds. Yeah. Narragansett.
Another shock. Like number 42 is Lost Coast Brewing, like from Eureka, California.
I don't even know the last time I had a Lost Coast beer.
That's like Old Rasputin, right?
No, that's North Coast, dude. Lost
North
Coast is Great White.
That's right. Yeah. Downtown Brown.
They had I don't know. I think their business is mainly out of California. I think they go out.
Kings and Convicts, number 30. That's where they bought.
They own Ballast Point, right?
But who's Pittsburgh Brewing? How come I don't know who that is? Or it's not ringing bells. That's number 21.
That's a good question.
Pittsburgh Brewing? I don't even know who that is.
That's pretty big.
Is it?
They make Iron City. I've seen that beer.
Oh, I've seen Iron City.
I think that's one of those regional ones. It's just really, really popular in a region.
I've had some Harpoon.
So what's weird is your top 3 are Yuengling, Boston Beer, and Sierra, like they were 10 years ago. Your number 4 is Duvel Mortgott, and then this is where you get into like the rest of the top 10 is kind of conglomerates.
Yeah.
So like Duvel Mortgott, that one is probably pretty familiar to people who listen to our show.
So I thought they were like, I mean, I understand that they own Firestone and, Boulevard and stuff like that, but they're saying that they're a U.S. craft brewing company. And it says they're out of Paso Robles. So,
well, that's where they brew beer.
Yeah, but they're Duvel. They're from Europe. Like that's
right, but they don't post where the corporate office is. They post where the beer is made.
Duvel's. I don't know. That one's confusing because Duvel's not made in Southern California. Like
right,
Firestone beers are made, and some Boulevard beers and whatever across the country. But
you're gonna note on every one of these that the city is the location of the brewery that is part of the conglomerate, right?
That's true. Yeah,
it's Paso Robles, which is where Firestone is, Kansas City, which is where Boulevard is, and Cooperstown, New York, which is where Allagash is. That's where the beer is made.
I didn't see the Kansas City and Cooperstown. Like Tilray is Atlanta. San Diego, Bend, Seattle. And
so some of these, for people who haven't seen them, I went and looked all this shit up earlier today. So Gambrinus is number 5. Didn't mean anything to me. That is Shiner and
Shinerbach.
Trumer, which I didn't realize were the same company, but they're getting the number US. 5.
Yeah,
they're getting to number 5 with just those two, which is pretty impressive. Tilray Beer Brands is a weird combination of breweries. It's Sweetwater, Breckenridge, Green Flash, Alpine, Montauk, Shock Top, which I think they bought from AB, Blue Point, Red Hook, 10 Barrel, and Widmer Brothers. So it's
I think Shock Top, Blue Point, Red Hook, 10 Barrel, and Widmer, that was recently in the news because AB shed those brands, and that's where they picked them up.
Yeah. So 10 Barrel is now not is craft beer.
A lot of those used to be part of the Craft Brewing Alliance. CBA was the name of the company, and which is gone. And another weird note that I saw in here is a former member of that, Kona, is on here as an independent brewery at number 32.
Mm-hmm.
That's weird.
So Kona was part of CBA for a long time, and I guess they're spun off again. So, just fun, weird brewery ownership. Artisanal Brewing Ventures. Can anyone guess? We have Downingtown, Pennsylvania, Lakewood, New York, and Brooklyn, New York. Dude, can anyone guess what breweries those are?
Well, you put them in the dock. So.
Brooklyn Brewing?
No, Brooklyn's its own thing. They're
Victory,
they're the
Southern Tier, Victory, Southern Tier, and 6 Point.
Yep, Victory, Southern Tier, and 6 Point.
6 Point. Man, I haven't had any of their beer in forever.
Same,
right?
They were the ones who made like resin and all that, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You're none the richer, Joe. None the richer.
You've not missed much.
6 Point, none the richer. Monster Brewing. This is a new entrant on here.
Yeah, dude.
And kind of a depressing one. So
number 9.
Number 9 is Monster Brewing. Monster Beverage bought Canarchy. And Canarchy was the owners of Oscar Blues, Cigar City, Deep Ellum, Wasatch, Perrin Brewing, Squatters. I think Three Weavers got spun off in that mix. I don't think
they left.
They bought themselves out.
Yeah. And the saddest part when I was researching that is I found a press release and it says, Monster, which bought Canarchy in early 2022, said that its relatively newly released Monster-branded malt beverage offerings, the Beast Unleashed and Nasty Beast Hard Tea, are the portfolio's top sellers.
Sounds like a cheap beer corner video, Jason.
Fuck. Yeah, we're going to drink Nasty Beast. Oh, I'm a nasty beast when I drink this.
I read the FAQ on those. They're like, do they have caffeine or taurine or no? You're silly.
The Nasty Beast. That was your nickname in high school, wasn't it, Jason?
Still is. Yeah, that one. When I saw Monster Brewing, it's just like, that's just gross.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I got nothing against Monster. I drink Monster drinks, the ones with no sugar, but they're fine for what they are. But when you put brewing after it, it sounds gross. Like,
it's a little disheartening to see. So, like, if you follow like the story of American beer, it was like there was a bajillion breweries, and then everyone consolidated, and then we had 3. And like that's kind of what happens to like every industry is that they all consolidate till it's 3 companies. And I'm like, fuck, we're watching that happen again.
Pretty much.
Gordon Biersch is 14. I think that's just by making store brand beer.
Yeah, Costco.
They make the Trader Joe's, like all the Trader Joe's like German stuff is Gordon Biersch.
Yeah. Kirkland, the big dad packs too, the cases.
I think similarly, Matt Brewing is the same sort of thing. They're like a contract brewery. Not Matt Becker. I don't think he's involved.
He's like, Matt's doing pretty good for himself. He's number 13 now.
Holy shit.
4B bump.
Talking about like these foreign companies that own American breweries and technically brew out of America, I'm surprised Stone isn't on here because Sapporo is foreign owned and Stone's usually on this list. So you think Sapporo would be on the list because they're technically in San Diego.
Yeah, look, man, they bend the rules all the time for this shit.
I don't know what the actual rules are these days. Like what? I don't even know, man.
I guess because Sapporo, you know what? Because Sapporo is not craft technically, where these other big conglomerates, I guess,
to be a craft brewer.
Well, I mean, Duvel is a traditional brewery, so they're not like a macro brewery, I guess.
And people
kind of maybe
they're hand wavy about Duvel, like, you know, everyone loves Duvel. They're craft, they're fine, and I kind of go along with that too because they seem like a good company and they own some good brands.
It's a family-owned brand.
We don't need to go through all of them, but a couple other highlights. Georgetown at number 16. As far as I know, they only sell beer in the Northwest. And they're everywhere up there, and they're good. I like them a lot. But they only sell beer in, like, Washington and Oregon, as far as I know.
Is Georgetown like Manny's and all that?
Yeah, Manny's Pale Ale.
Love that beer.
That shit's good.
Gosh, that beer is so good.
Let's get that shit on the show, man.
Three Floyds in here at number 20, hanging tight. Being, you know, they seem like one of the few old school breweries that's relatively unchanged these days, unscathed. But maybe Midwest people, if I'm wrong, fucking, I don't know, put in the comments or some shit. Craft Ohana, which is just Modern Times and Maui. And then some, almost every one of these conglomerates also has like seltzer and cider brands and shit, but I didn't list it. There was a really interesting one I found. There's this weird conglomerate with like a real generic name, U.S. Beverage LLC. And I was like, what the fuck is this? And they have a weird eclectic mix of like, so Czechvar, Moosehead, Tiger, Uinta.
Uinta, yeah.
Birra Moretti, like the Italian Pilsner.
Okay, yeah.
And this one that I just threw on here because it's Cerveza Tropic Cristal, not Cerveza Cristal. I don't think it's the same Cerveza Cristal, but I just wanted to reference that because
I love that.
Pizza Port, number 47.
Hey,
fuck yeah.
Pizza Port.
Yeah.
Hey, Abbondanza.
And it's pretty much all that's interesting on here. I don't know. Any
Coronado 48 though. I mean, that's something.
Definitely.
They're my number 2 buy behind. I think I'm single-handedly putting both of those breweries.
Seriously, I buy so much fucking Swami.
So much. It's always in the fridge.
12 packs of 12-ounce cans, dude. It's the best thing that ever happened.
I haven't seen that in any stores yet. Jason, I think, has.
But, yeah, they got it at the Stater Brothers now.
My Sprouts had it.
I got burned on my first one. Like, I had, like, 2 low-fill cans, and they were all, like, a bunch of them, like, leaked. They had, like, sticky beer on the outside and shit. But they seem to have fixed it. My theory is I read that they are now canning out of the old Lost Abbey facility, and I think they had some growing pains.
Don't they can a bunch at Bressy Ranch, too?
Yeah, they do, but they're apparently also canning at Lost Abbey. So I think maybe that's where they're doing the 12-ounce stuff. That's my theory, because they never did 12-ounce out of Bressy before.
Yeah, Lost Abbey is now canning double IPA or IPA, which is
crazy.
Weird to see on shelves.
Is that Mongo or what is it?
No, it's just a...
No, you know what's funny is Mongo is being sold by Pizza Port now.
All right.
Yeah, it's all weird. It's all wild.
Is Pizza Port brewing all of the port beer now?
I think they just kind of discontinued that brand, didn't they?
Well, Mongo was port, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, but now you can get Mongo in Pizza Port cans.
Pizza Port. Oh, gotcha.
But I was at the store the other day, and I was like, where can I buy a hop refresher at?
The Lagunitas hop refresher?
No. It's the hop. What's the one from Lost Abbey?
The hop freshener or whatever.
The brand hop.
Yeah.
That's the weed reference one.
No, because they had like dank and piney and like light and citrusy or whatever.
Yeah, dank and sticky.
The hop concept. The hop concept.
Hop
THC.
concept.
That's what
I was looking for some hop concept, and I could not find hop concept.
That concept failed.
That was a weird move.
That was a weird
They
time.
did all this stuff to try to firewall out that Lost Abbey made this beer and Lost Abbey made that beer, and it's just like, just call it all Lost Abbey, dude. It's fine. No one's gonna get mad if you don't have like.
It's like a band's like fourth album. It's like what I don't know. Let's just skip this one. Let's go back to Radiohead's second album.
Yeah, Lost Abbey's still a thing though. We're operating out of Mother Earth.
They also have a little tasting room it's what's it? It's right by where my son has hitting lessons out in it's not San Marcos. It's something Hills, whatever. There's a little tasting room up there.
Was that the church themed one or
Yes.
whatever?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The Confessional.
I'm always turned off by Mother Earth because I fucking hate Cali Creamin'. It's like my least favorite beer.
The craft brewing scene is not what it was when we started this show. It's so like if you would have shown me this list 10 years ago, it would have been like, oh my God, that's weird. Monster Brewing.
And I'm so glad we're talking about this because, good God.
Times they are a changin'.
Moving on to the actual topic of the show, we are doing beers from Green Cheek Beer Company. They recently opened a new spot in Oceanside that used to be Bagby Brewing. And I found out, actually, speaking of me and my dad and Yvonne going down there, I saw Jeff Bagby there brewing. And
He's the brewer.
He just works for Green Cheek now. So I saw him there. I saw Jeff's wife there. And I'm like, that's cool. But I'm like, this is weird. Like, they're just hanging out. Or no, they're working. And so so Jeff Bagby's brewing for Green Cheek.
Being the boss sucks sometimes.
I think that's what I thought. I'm like, maybe they're just like, fuck this. It's too much stress. Jeff just wants to make beer. That's what he's really good at. Not that he's bad at running a business, but he's really good at making beer. So let's just, and I could totally see Evan and Brian, the owners of Green Cheek, going, Jeff, please, like, we'll pay you well to stay on. Like, you deserve to work at this place still if you still want to do it. Like, and it's just, I don't know. That's the warm, fuzzy part of me that's thinking that, but it's a great business move on Evan's and Brian's part.
Do we want to give like a quick rundown? Like, since we're doing a brewery highlight, like we're doing Green Cheek today, do we want to give like a quick rundown of Green Cheek, like for people who don't know? People tuning in, maybe people who aren't local or whatever. Green Cheek's in their main location is in Orange, right, Greg? The primary.
Yeah, so they started in Orange. They took over Valiant Brewing Spot, and they quickly branched out to Costa Mesa, where they took over Barley Forge's spot, and then they took over a dive bar.
You're gonna sense a pattern here.
Yeah, they took over a dive bar in Sunset Beach, which is like in between Long Beach and Huntington. So it's a little sleepy seaside town there, and then recently Bagby. So they've never built a brewery. I think they've done some changes to the breweries, but not like anything super major. It's just like buying good spots that make good beer. And what's cool, I was interviewing Evan. You'll hear some sound clips. They have certain locations for certain beer styles. So like the Orange one is like good at hazy IPA. Obviously Bagby's the lager house, and the Costa Mesa one brews pretty much everything else.
And at Green Cheek Oceanside, you can also still get Bagby Brewing beers. Like they're more traditional beers so far.
Oh, cool.
I don't know if he's going to branch out and do, IPAs, but that'd be kind of weird having a Bagby IPA compete with all the awesome IPAs at Green Cheek that he's probably brewing. So,
but it has been a nice silver lining as some of the, more the struggling local craft breweries. I mean, Barley Forge, longtime listeners may remember we actually did a show with them 100 years ago. And when these breweries are shutting down, it's a bit heartening when we see people like Green Cheek move in and take over, because you're like, oh, well, that's still going to be a brewery and it's good people. They're going to be making good beer. So it's good news. And yeah, Green Cheek's great.
So yeah, I thought it would be a good first show because me and Joe, I think except for Jason, Jason probably lives the same distance from Orange that I am from Oceanside. So we're all pretty much close to a Green Cheek location. And it made sense in these beers, and they're cranking out beers. I think weekly they have new releases, and it's like
it's
either
insane
one or two.
How much beer they are putting out.
Yeah, and personally speaking, I have been to Green Cheek Oceanside 6 times, and every time I go, I spend a lot of money. like
All
at
of that
least
money.
over $150,
Easy,
like between
easy.
food and beers, and then beers to go. Like,
Write it off.
and when I
my-
went
my
there,
friend.
Evan and Brian were there, and Brian, he bought me a beer. It was their opening weekend, and
Cool.
I was like, oh, that's cool. He bought me a beer. And then I ended up, again, the first weekend I was there, I think I spent $250 just on
Ooh.
merch, food, beer. Joe was there
Yeah.
for that opening weekend, so we hung out a super long time and had a lot of beers. And
We've hung out there a couple times.
yeah, and the last one, I think the second time we went there, you guys just were walking. You were going there, but you walked by, and we were sitting on that outside part. And I'm like, hey, it's Joe. Cool.
I'm like, hey, John's here. What is happening?
I would join you guys there, but I have to drive past 2 Green Cheeks to get to Oceanside.
Yeah, because the first time I went to Bagby, I think I was with Greg. We went with Greg and his wife.
Oh, a
Erin.
long time ago. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's just such a rad space.
Yeah, the place is an old car dealership that they converted, so it's big. It's got multiple areas, like indoor and
Yeah,
outdoor.
it's by level. It's got
upstairs
an
areas.
upstairs.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So we got I think a pretty I wouldn't say diverse, but it's not all hazies. So we do have hazy on the show though. But we got a good spread of beers here. First beer we're doing, this is called Here We Are. It's a wheat ale. It's
Belgian
made with
wit?
raw wheat, Pilsner malt, old-fashioned oats, and noble hops. And like Greg said, he did some interviews with Evan Price when he picked up his beers, and we happen to have those interviews, so we're going to play this right now. And if you guys want me to stop it or whatever, I can stop it, and you can comment, or we can just listen to it straight through. Feel free to do whatever you want.
I'll just yell over it.
So here is Evan talking about the first beer we're doing, which is called Here We Are.
All right. Last but not least, we have Here We Are.
Yeah.
What is this beer?
So this is a Belgian white that we make.
Oh, Belgian white. Okay.
And we go through like a little bit more work than we probably should on this beer, but it's like it's a tough beer to mash where we have over 40% unmalted wheat, or maybe even 50%. I'm totally blanking off the top of my head. But unmalted wheat is if you know, as a home brewer,
Oh yeah,
a
that's
total asshole in every way to work
Yeah.
with. And so we've got a lot of unmalted wheat. That's what it is. I think it's 40% unmalted wheat, about 10% rolled oats, and then the rest is a really pale
That's a
Pilsner malt.
crazy little mash bill for you guys.
Yeah.
You're like, oh shit, I gotta brew this today.
Yeah.
Like, if you're the brewer on deck, you're like, fuck, man.
That's where enzymes kind of help. We use,
break down a little bit.
beta-glucanase to help that lauter, and that ends up being a little bit easier for the brewers throughout that addition. And then after that, we make our own dried orange peel for this beer, and so a bunch of fresh local oranges.
So you dehydrate your own oranges and shit, and then you just orange peel it.
Yeah,
Or cocktail orange.
Yeah, so it's all the oranges that get zested, and then we like lay out all the zest on tables, and then it takes about 3 days, and then we're taking all of that, we're grinding it up, and we're throwing it in the fermenter right after the end of the fermentation.
Okay.
Along with coriander, and so and then we can kind of dial in the beer this way too, because there's a bunch of ester character from that Belgian yeast.
Right.
And then we're like trying to
Totally different yeast than you have in town. So you prop it up and
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we end up in a spot that's fun too, because we can like kind of dial in how much coriander and orange and
there you go.
like try to find that like right spot.
Right.
And every time we kind of fuck with it a little bit more, but it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I didn't know that they actually made their own like dehydrated zesting orange peel. That's pretty like
That's a lot of work.
That's a craft beer right there, man.
Yeah, a lot of the beginning of this show was us lamenting like consolidation and beer conglomerates and whatever, and like stuff like that, where they're just like, yeah, no, we made our own dehydrated orange peel. Like, yeah, could I easily, cheaply buy that from a supplier? Yes, but we're
Sure.
going to make our own because maybe
Absolutely.
we can do something better, and like that rules. Like that's why we're here.
And it comes through the beer in such a nice, soft, pillowy way. It's not like over the top orange. It's not over the top coriander. It's sort of like everything plays off. Everything sort of like balances off each other, right?
I think the coriander is a bit more present than it would be in like a Hoegaarden or like your traditional like Belgian wit, like or like the more popular commercial examples. I feel like I'm getting a little bit more coriander on this than I would and maybe a little bit less orange peel. I'm not getting a ton of orangey flavor, although I think a lot of the modern interpretations of this style amp up the orange because they're trying to go for that, like, you know, the Blue Moon shock top thing that was really popular 10 years ago.
God, I hate Blue Moon. It's such a bad beer. I know
So
it's
sweet.
a great beer, like, and it's beloved, but for me, I hate it. It's just too much.
It's so sweet.
The NA one's pretty good.
Yeah, I don't get a whole lot of the coriander. I think it's all very balanced for me. I mean, if anything, the Belgian yeast character is what's definitely, I mean, obviously that's what you're going to look for in a Belgian wit. But it's over the top for me. Like it's great. And where everything else, I think it's just like a supporting kind of foundation for the yeast, or a complement to the yeast maybe. But nothing really is punching me more than the yeast. It's pretty balanced between like the orange zesty flavor.
Drinkability. What do you think, Joe?
Oh, it's super drinkable. I was going to say, the crazy thing about these cans, it's a little bit warm out in my garage. So my beer is about room temperature now from the time I opened it. It's pretty orange forward now that it's gotten warm. I really, really like it. I didn't have any expectation of this beer going into this just because it's a style I don't really drink. And as soon as I opened and drank, I'm like, holy smokes, that is freaking delicious.
Yeah, I would say I get the orange more on the nose than anything else. Like it really pops on the nose.
Why do you guys think wheat beer had such a dramatic collapse?
I don't know, because every time I drink a wheat beer, I'm like, dude, I love wheat beers.
10 years ago?
I think it's just
10 years ago.
I think it's just
it was
branding.
No, like in let's say 15 years ago, like in 2010, if you were like, "Hey, I'm new to beer, like what should I try?" Everyone would be like,
Half a
"Get a
Weizen.
wheat beer."
Yep.
Or with some wheat beer. It would be try a Blue Moon, try a Pyramid, it would be a wheat beer, right? And
Mhm.
like wheat beer has really just fallen out. Like
It's hard to find.
there were brands that made their whole brand off of wheat, right? Like
Wheat beer has just turned into mass market hazy IPA. That's all.
Totally.
It's just got a
It's true.
different label on it, you know? That's basically what Mind
it's just
Haze
hop beer
is.
now.
And yeah, they put more hops in it and dial back the Belgian character a bit, and there you go. And
I mean-
Firestone Walker has talked about that. He was like, how can I make a beer that's as good as a hazy, but isn't as nearly labor intensive and expensive to make?
Weizenbach.
I mean, I see what you're saying, Jason. And I because back then it was like wheat beer was the go-to, like I need something light and refreshing kind of beer. And now that's just not a thing. Lager and Pils have taken that over again, where if you want something light and refreshing, the first thing that comes to my mind is a Pils. Like I want a Pils that's nice and dry and it's got a sharp hop character, and maybe it's a little soft, or depending on the
maybe
style.
that's
but
it, that the craft beer market has matured past the like, I don't drink lagers, I'm not a pussy, I drink Blue Moon. You know, like that was
Yeah.
that the market has matured past that, where people are like, oh yeah, lagers are good sometimes, or like lagers are not sometimes, lagers are fucking good, full stop, no qualifier. And like people are like not afraid to admit that anymore, so they don't have to be like, I'm drinking a wheat beer, so I'm not a wussy. Related, I had Stone American Pilsner at a bar yesterday.
Oh, how was it?
I actually liked
Kind
it.
of overly bitter, like you'd expect from Stone. Like not
Okay.
overly bitter in that it's like a hoppy Pilsner, but like too bitter for style. Like it's just a little bit like, okay,
It's a
like
stone,
you
it's a
guys
stone
still
beer.
you guys still had to stone it up a little.
I think I saw that they're canning Double Bastard. They're doing 12-ounce cans of Double
I'd like to
Bastard,
revisit
which-
Double
wow.
Bastard. I'd even do it on the show because I forgot why I was mad at them.
I'm going to break out my tongue scraper before that.
Do those old grievances with Stone go away now that they've been sold and the Greg isn't there anymore?
I don't know. They just
Like-
kind of suck now. Either
Didn't
way.
didn't they win like $57 million, but they spent like $400 million or something?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know.
It was the
Did
dumbest
they?
thing ever.
They
I
actually
don't
won
know.
that? Okay. Yeah, I think overall this is a great beer. Obviously, everything we're going to have from Green Cheek is going to be really good,
Hop
but
forward.
this does stand out as, it's not just like a, afterthought of a beer where it's like, I guess we need a wheat beer. And you could tell by Evan, the dude's
Dude.
very, very smart, like overall, but when it comes to beer, especially, like the dude knows what he's talking about. And he was,
What I love about non-hoppy Evan beers is that there's a lot of thought put into them. Like he brewed at Taps,
Yeah.
which was all classic styles. He brewed at Hangar 24, so he knows wheat beer. Like
I forgot about that. Yeah.
how many batches of orange wheat, ODEB as they used to call it back in the day.
I didn't know that.
Oh,
I
dude.
didn't actually think.
And
I
Noble
knew.
Ale Works.
Yeah, and Noble is, I mean, they're still around, right? They're not really doing much of note, are they? Not to, I don't know.
I don't know.
I haven't
Dude,
heard much about them
the,
in a while.
They're in the Platinum Triangle, man. They were right there next to Angel Stadium, and I mean, I doubt, I don't see them ever going out of business, just because of the foot traffic they get being that close to, you know, first of all, their location, the 57, the 5, and basically the 91, and then next to Angel Stadium, like it's perfect. And they make good. I think they make good beer too.
Joe's wearing a baseball shirt. Have you ever been to Noble? Have you ever been up to that location up there?
I have not been to that location. No, I've only been to Angel Stadium once, but I was going to say I will die on the hill that in like 2016, Citrus Showers was one of the best hoppy beers I've ever had in my entire life.
It legit was.
That beer, dude.
And that was Evan himself.
That beer changed my life.
2017 was the year Green Cheek was founded, and guess who left?
Dude, I'm saying, I wish he would just brew Citrus Showers again under a different name. Maybe he does. I don't know. But holy smokes, that beer.
Spoiler alert. We do have maybe a collab coming between Green Cheek and the 4 Brewers.
Greg's been trying to finagle something. Can we say that publicly?
Yeah, of course. I mean, it may not happen, but I pitched this. It's called Panning for Hops. It's like an 1800s guy in a river trying to find gold, except the gold is hops. And the idea is to use all the HBC hops that are like the up and coming hops that aren't necessarily like they've not like gone through the rigors. They don't have their names and whatever yet. And so we want to try and find some blends. We're going to, sniff some hops and figure out what's going to go in a nice West Coasty.
Can we somehow get Golden Brett on the can?
Yeah. If we own it, yeah.
Just put a little prospector guy on there.
Just give him the little prospector logo.
Just put any little prospector guy.
That's where honestly all of that spawned from.
Or they could dress the little bird up with like a prospector like hat and stuff.
Oh, that'd be funny as hell.
Oh, that's
or
even
he
better.
We can have the parrot on his shoulder as he's panning for hops.
Dude, if that happens and I can sit at the Oceanside spot and drink a beer that the 4 Brewers collabed on, that would be amazing.
Dude, I would be.
You're gonna be
there.
You
have to come to the collabs and throw the ceremonial hop, cup of hops in.
Let's do it.
All right.
Yeah, I'm down as fuck for that. The last collab we did, I think, was with Derek when he was at Ukaipa.
Oh yeah,
Brewing.
Brew Kaipa, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. And then I remember the first collab that I did officially was with Tyler at the brewery, which was a small batch of something. I think it was a saison or something, and he ended up just dumping it and didn't tell us. I remember going there and I'm like, "Hey Tyler, what's up with our beer?" He's like, "I needed the fermenter, so I just dumped it." Like,
Dirty Beaver Juice Weekend. What are we going to next, boys?
I'm gonna open Nectaron.
In this economy. That is the name of the beer, Nectaron. In this economy?
In this economy? Because Nectaron's really expensive.
Nectaron is a West Coast Pils, and it's got hops from Mac Hops New Zealand, and they're all Nectaron hops. And this is a pretty interesting beer. Nectaron, Ron is the name of the hop dude that...
Dr. Ron something?
Evan talks about it in his interview. So, but before we get to that... for me on the nose, this is super, super nectarine, hoppy, like blows my nose out of the fucking water.
That aroma is massive.
Yeah. So let's listen to Evan's.
On a hoppy Pils, that aroma, fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's insane. That's why I didn't want to start with this one because it's just, whoa. So here's Evan.
Named after Dr. Ron for all of its nectarine sort of vibes to it. And it is super fun. And so this specific hop came from Mac Hops out of New Zealand, and we actually had Dr. Ron, the maker of this hop, come out to do a collab with us and visit with us. And this guy is a magic man. This man is specifically responsible for 16 different varietals that come out of New Zealand. So I'm like, he was here at the brewery last week.
Oh, no shit. Okay.
Yeah, so we're chatting about all this, and I'm like, wait, so let's get down to it. Like, just go through the years of when you came out with what. And he's just like, oh, okay, well, Nelson came out this year, Pacific Jade came out this year, Rawaka, Motueka.
He's the guy.
Nectaron. Like, he's
like in a lab coat.
Yeah, like, and so he is semi-retired now, but him and then Brent, the 5th generation hop farmer from Mac Hops in New Zealand. They both came out and made a beer with us. And so anyway, while they were here, I wanted to have something for them to drink all day. And so we got some Nectaron from their farm, from the Mac Hops farm, and then made this West Coast Pils with it. That is a 5.4% beer, and
nice.
We're using lager yeast. Yeah, I mean, like most Green Cheek beers, and kind of our vibe is like this pale base with hoppy beer. I can't get enough of it, and so this is built on Pilsner malt. We have some spelt in there, which is an ancient wheat, and then we've got a little bit of dextrin malt as well to just help build a little bit of body, support the hops a little bit better. Yeah, from there, it really kind of goes into this like American Pils direction where it's like clean bittering hop, and then we have like a middle edition in order to create a little bit of texture there on the palate, and then big whirlpool, big dry hop.
Little Robert Plant and Eddie Vedder in the background.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so for me, and on Untappd, this is a Pilsner, mind you. It has a 4.1 on Untappd. Which,
finally, people are starting to respect it.
I mean, well, it doesn't even come off like a Pilsner. It just comes off like a super clean, non-bitter, West Coast-ish IPA. You know what I mean? And it's crazy.
I'm just still in awe of how much aroma is coming off this fucking beer. It's so like
I know, dude.
Orangey, and maybe they put nectarine in my head, but it's just so citrusy.
It's stone fruity, and it's got like this cool, like how Nelson is, like that kind of earthy funk thing. I love it.
It's there, yeah, for sure.
I mean, it's
this beer is crushable.
Oh yeah, no, so
5.4.
So the aroma is very, very citrusy, and it makes you think you're like almost like you can get a Citra beer, right? Like you're getting like a big citrus bomb, but like you just said, there's like some funkiness to it. There's some.
Do you smell that, like that earthy thing?
I don't get the earthiness. I don't get a lot of earthy aroma, but I get it on the flavor. Like when I drank the beer, it's got this like kind of like not funky, but like there's like a little bit of like a earthy, like kind of unique flavor that goes in there where there's like. Yeah, it's giving you a little bit of complexity out of it, even though it's a hoppy Pilsner, which could be really one note. This is fucking cool.
And I think, one of the biggest shocks for me was hearing spelt, as a wheat thing in a Pilsner, because that's such a pronounced sort of, and I don't know, you don't see Pilsners or any lagers for that matter ever made with spelt that I'm aware of, but it's sort of a ballsy move that helps elevate the beer a little bit. And
what exactly does spelt do? Like,
it's like an ancient wheat grain. It's got a little bit of a bitterness to it. You definitely kind of sense that on the back palate. Like after you add a sip, you swallow, and you get this like, you had something like substantial.
I wonder if that lends something to that kind of earthiness on the aroma, because I do. It's like I get two distinct things. I get citrus and then something else. That it comes off like a malty kind of aroma, like from the malts. It is, like Joe said, it is kind of earthy, but it's just, it works with the aroma. Like I think if I were to smell this beer without the hops, I may not like it because it might be a little too funky. But this
beer
works
rad.
very well with these hops,
And we're using the word funky, and it isn't like a lambic. It's
no, yeah. I'm saying funky like weird,
like or like a. I think somebody mentioned cheese, like kind of like you're getting into like a brie cheese kind of thing.
I mean, I said Famunda cheese. I didn't.
Oh, okay. I don't actually know Famunda cheese.
For me, papaya is the best descriptor.
Yeah.
Like a
really
ripe
good.
papaya has a funk to it.
Yeah.
But then you eat it and you're like, ooh, that's fucking, it's right in that vein, dude.
Damn, this beer kicks
great.
ass. Like
I want to go back and buy more cans of this.
I come in expecting a lot from Green Cheek, but like I'm still surprised. This is really good.
No, and me and Joe talked about this when we met up, the first time. I told him, I go, Oceanside is closer than anything in Orange County for me. I mean, unless I go to like the Anaheim Hills area, that's
because you got the 78 or whatever.
Yeah. So
76.
Me being this close to Green Cheek and not having to deal with traffic and everything else and pay tolls and all this other crap that I have to do for going to Orange County, it's fantastic. And so I just wish they would move a little more east and a little more north, like Temecula area. Then
John moved to the sticks, and he's like, "Can everything else move to the sticks with me?"
I didn't move to the sticks. What are you talking about? I live basically in Murrieta. Like
Greg, that can art's amazing, by the way, with the piggy bank on it. I love it.
Yeah.
The concept was the hops are really expensive, and they're like, I don't know if we can afford it. Like I guess we have to because the guy's he's flying out from New Zealand. So it's like Nectaron in this economy.
And
I had a Nelson in this economy last year, and it was great.
Going back to our conversation about the World Beer Cup earlier, this kind of illustrates why Green Cheek took a bronze in hoppy lager at the World Beer Cup. You know, a bronze behind North Park and everywhere. Like if you lose a medal to North Park, it's like, all right.
Which beer was that? Because they also medaled for cold IPA, right? Green Cheek.
They medaled for It Just Works. It was the beer that.
That's the cold IPA I was thinking of. Yeah. They called that a hoppy lager.
Hoppy lager, yeah. And then North Park.
That's the category.
Hoppy lager is
Park
cold
took
IPA.
Gold with hop or ice foo.
That beer is great too.
Haven't had that one. I've had hop foo. 100%.
Yeah, ice foo and It Just Works were both amazing.
Yeah, I love this beer. I can't wait to. I got off on a tangent, but like I'm saying, I'm glad I live this close to Green Cheek because the area I moved into, which is the Sticks, I actually have access to so much San Diego beer, like Virgin. I never got when I lived in Moreno Valley, and now I have like everything Virgin makes, and it's 10 minutes
amazing,
from my
yeah.
house.
You're close to Carl Strauss too, which is great beer.
Yeah, and I got a fucking Carl's. Like I got 8-bit. Like I'm not in this. Fuck you, Jason. Like you're in the Sticks, if anything. Jesus, what's in Fontana?
John, I don't have a cow farm next to my house.
Well, okay, you got me on that one. We do have cows walking distance away, so and a thin blue line flag on a flagpole at someone's property.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, I knew that when I moved here, but yeah, I'm just stoked to be this close to Green Cheek. And
my wallet is not stoked. I've been every weekend since they opened, dude. Every single weekend.
You weren't? Did you go? Did you go the weekend that I don't? Because we went on last Saturday. I don't think you went. Did you go on Sunday last weekend?
Yes, because we had baseball. Yeah. I walk in and the one dude behind the bar is like, "What's up, Joe?" And I'm like, "Oh no, he knows my name."
No, Yvonne. That's funny you say that because Yvonne, she started asking beer servers like their names because she's like, if we're gonna come here, I want to know these people's names.
I should ask.
And I'm like,
names.
Cool, man. That
She's
coming out of my wife's mouth is
wife.
fucking awesome.
Heck yeah.
All right, moving on. The next beer. I want to chill and drink this some more, but
You got a show to do.
Just put it in the fridge.
I think we should move on to Nelson. It's what we like here in parentheses.
Yeah, same guy, right?
Spoiler alert, we do like it.
I don't know. We'll find out when we listen to this interview right here. Let me just get this queued up right here. And here we go.
We're going to be trying 4 beers on the show, not right the second, but I want to get your take on, we have Nelson, West Coast, 100% Nelson. Is that 100% Nelson?
So almost 100% Nelson, like where we're doing the same exact hops for bittering for all of these batches, but then everything that matters in the beer is all Nelson, and so it's all Whirlpool and then all dry hop, 100% Nelson.
Oh, okay. And
so,
where'd you get this Nelson from?
So all the Nelson we're using is from Freestyle hops out of New Zealand.
Okay. So I love myself some Nelson. What are you looking for in as far as the Nelson goes? Is it like the gooseberry, diesel-y kind, or something different?
Yeah, so the lot that we used on this specific batch actually came from our pals at Cellar Maker. So it's, I feel like it's a touch different on this batch than some of the others that we've done in the past, but it absolutely is hitting that like fresh Riesling sort of vibe. Cool. It's hitting that like sort of gooseberry thing, that kiwi character.
Beautiful.
Pardon the pun.
Yeah, I mean, you got to kiwi the fuck out of it.
And then we
poke your beak in it.
Yeah, what else? I mean, like
fucking Greg.
When Nelson's right, it's right. It's like there's this like certain amount of like passion fruit that's able to jump out of the glass that I think is like something that's super special.
Cool. Yeah, so there are no bittering hops in this beer at all. It's all late Whirlpool. And yeah, Joe actually did a video on this beer.
Oh, you did?
I fucking love this beer. I love it.
Yeah, I think. Are you still doing Green Cheek? Are you still releasing? Because you haven't lately, or no, you did. I think
there was a
yesterday
Green
or
Cheek
something?
triple IPA the other day that
Yeah,
I'm on a quest to review all of them.
I mean, dude, the amount they're putting out, you might as well. That's just content.
Dude, I'm telling you, this beer is one of the best Nelson West Coast beers I've ever had.
If you want to hear more about this beer while also seeing a Golden Axe arcade cabinet in the background, then
If you want to know what I have to say, go to bjpen.com.
that's
I don't get that one.
Most people would. That's a really obscure reference.
Is that a
I love that Jason knows that.
a fighting term?
Yeah, he's an old UFC guy.
Joke.
Like
I mean,
2006.
So can we talk about gooseberries real quick?
Gooseberries are delicious. Yeah.
Greg, wait a second. Nobody eats gooseberries.
Every now and then I go to, we have like in Anaheim, there's a whole row of Middle Eastern restaurants and grocery stores. And every now and then they have fresh gooseberries.
Do they really? So my issue with gooseberries is everyone talks about, like with Nelson beers, oh, gooseberry this, goose. If you go into a regular grocery store, like you never see nobody eats them. So like
No.
it's been my whole joke that like
It's hard to
gooseberries,
find in California.
they're not really a thing. So I don't brew beer, but someday I want to brew a beer of all Nelson, and it's going to be named gooseberries aren't it? Because they're not a real thing. Don't anybody take the name of that, by the way.
let's fucking do it, man. I don't know how good I am at making IPA, but
I'm going to
if
send
anybody-
you some gooseberries and you're going to be like, holy shit, it tastes like Nelson.
Dude, there's a guy that watches my videos, and he says it all the time. He's like, dude, I eat gooseberries once a week. Like, I eat them. I'm going to send you some.
Yeah, they're good.
I'm like, no, you don't. You're a liar. Nobody eats gooseberries.
A goose is a bird, not a berry.
The grocery store that has gooseberries by my house also sells camel meat, which, I
Whoa,
don't
What
know.
the fuck?
Maybe we should
wow.
try some
Like-
camel meat.
Why?
I'd eat camel meat.
I don't know. They have it.
I feel like the only way to prove that you're like king of the jungle is to like eat more creatures. So you're like, all right, I ate a lion, now I'm king of the savannah. Like, I ate a shark, I'm king of the ocean. Like, I ate an alligator, I'm king of the swamp. I have eaten alligator, so I'm king of the swamp.
I'm not going to say what I'm thinking, but my old Greg would have said something there. But I've grown, and we'll stop there. One thing I want to point out from these Green Cheek beers, I don't know if you guys have realized what the carbonation is like on these. They're
fantastic.
extremely fine bubbles, champagne.
Yeah,
light,
I noticed that too.
very European as far as carbonation goes. They're not bubbling messes that are just gushing carbonation up. They're very light on the carbonation. It tends to concentrate the aromas in your glass.
I think this beer and what we were talking about with how this beer has no bittering additions is worth pivoting into talking about the new West Coast IPA.
Exactly.
That's what I was
'Cause
saying earlier.
I
in the
thought
show.
about this when you were talking about Bob and other brewers
Exactly
talking
right.
behind the scenes.
No bittering hops.
Like,
Why?
Bitter clear IPA is like gone. Like bitter West Coast IPA is kind of antiquated.
It's got bitter.
I mean, there's still some, but like the modern interpretation of a like clear like West Coast style IPA is not super bitter. They're very late hop addition. They're very hop bursted. Tons of hop flavor, not a lot of hop bitterness. Like if you drink this and then you go back to a Swami's, the Swami's is like, oh, holy shit, this is bitter.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah. Yes.
Such a shock.
And
100%.
I think I've taken for granted that like I don't think that is that common off the coast. It is common all the way up the coast, like into the Northwest. I think maybe the Northwest might have been a little bit ahead of the game on hop bursting. Like 5 years ago when I was in Oregon, I was getting some really good hop bursted stuff. But the new school of West Coast IPA is not nearly as bitter. It's much more flavoring and aroma additions without all the bittering additions and without all the weird shit they throw into the hazies to make them sweet.
Yeah, I agree. This definitely has a nice sharpness to it while still being sharpness as far as like it's dry, but it's still kind of fluffy at the same time. It's got a nice mouthfeel on it. And I think if this were any more bitter, I might not even drink it because I'm not opposed to super bitter beers, but it's not. I feel like I get to a point like halfway through a glass of beer that's super bitter that it's taxing my palate. And,
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Swami's is about as bitter as I want to go, and I drink Swami's all the time. Like it's just like drinking water for me.
John, have you had Pliny recently?
I have, and I was going to you read my mind.
I feel like that beer's gotten a little bit fruitier, which is awesome. It's still bitter, but it's not as bitter as I remember. I feel like it's way more drinkable now.
You totally took the words out of my mouth. I was just thinking about saying that. Yeah, I wonder if Russian River is, I mean, I guess you could just ask Vinny, but like they have to be influenced by this new way of brewing IPA.
They're just changing it like 1% a year. They're like, we're just getting a little bit less bitter over time. And
I don't think that's wrong. I think they're slowly dialing it down, and like that beer.
Even Swami's from 10 years ago, it's not the Swami it is today. It's totally different.
You guys get Pliny for President this run that just came out?
I did not get it this year.
I try.
I did. I went off on a whole tangent on that because of the cost with the shipping, and it was almost $40 for a 4-pack, and I was upset.
Oh, I remember that. And you were like, if you want to sell this beer on the black market, fucking sell it.
I just bought some at the store, dude.
Well, the first release they did this year, or before this one, they've done it twice, I think. But yeah,
I just got it at my local good liquor store. It was normal price.
It was like $92 for you got 16 cans, and then you had to pay $20 to ship. Yeah, so it came out to being, if you had to ship it, almost $40 a 4-pack. I'm like, dude, on no planet should you be paying $40 for a 4-pack of 7% IPA. You just shouldn't ever.
The best deal you can get from Russian River, and it's actually pretty competitive, is a 6-pack of 12-ounce cans of STS pills for $10.
I think I just paid.
That's a fucking deal.
I think I just paid $8 for like a bottle, or maybe
that's what. Well, don't get bottles. That's what the bottles of STS pills are like $6.50.
No. I mean, just get for President. I just bought it at the store. I didn't have to do anything weird.
Oh.
I went to my good beer store. They posted on Instagram that they had it, and then I went and I bought it like all the other Russian River beers. They had a limit one, but that's all.
But Joe, how much was a 4-pack?
Well, it was like $92 for 16 cans. So what's the math on that?
I don't know. I want to say you said it was like $24 a 4-pack.
Well, after shipping, it was $120 something for 16 cans. It came out to almost $40 a 4-pack.
16 cans. You're only 50% effective. You add Samoa Joe in the mix.
Here's the fuck around part, and here's the find out.
You add Samoa Joe into the mix. Now we're 90%.
I mean, it's a good listen. That beer is fantastic. I got upset, but it's like, look, I was the one who bought it. I didn't have to click purchase. I did it. I'm an idiot. My own fault.
Yeah, I did enjoy your. You were very curt. You were very.
They did Pliny the Younger this year, and it was a 3-pack of 16.9 ounce bottles, and it was $47. It was almost $15 a bottle. I'm like, what are we doing?
I'm wrong. I think you said that about Younger. I think that's what you said that about.
Haven't we all grown out of Pliny the Younger by now? I
mean, if I can get it, I'm going to try it. I mean,
Pliny the Elder's better.
It's not great.
Triple IPA.
Yeah.
Hold on. Haven't we all grown out of triple
Happy
IPA by now?
Hello.
Triple IPA as a category is just double IPA but worse. And I can just get a double IPA and a shot of whiskey and like call it a day. Like if you want to get more drunk, just get a fucking something
economically.
Yeah, like no, not even. It's just triple IPA sucks. All of them suck. Like they can be very good beers, but they would be great beers if they were a double IPA. Like,
what do you think about triple hazies?
I don't.
Is that even worse?
Shit.
I don't know, dude. They're always a mess.
Dude, listen, the green cheese.
They always smell like you're next to like a fruit farm when you're painting your house with latex paint.
I'm telling you, the Green Cheek Triple IPA hazy beers are unbelievably good.
I'm sure they're fine, but I bet you the double IPAs are even better.
And then the single IPAs are even better than that. And then the hoppy pale ales are better than that. And then the hoppy pills, that's when you're in heaven.
Different.
I will say, so someone in the comments said that people were going crazy for Waldo's this year. So the thing that's cool about Waldo's is you can get a 6-pack of that for $15 of triple IPA. Like that value is crazy.
Well, that's the Lagunitas factor right there.
But I'm just saying, like, it was $15 for one beer for one bottle of Pliny the Younger. I could get a 6-pack of Waldo's, and it's every bit as. It's not. I'm not saying it's as good as Younger, but it's.
Waldo's
fine.
Is dank. Yeah. It is like old school. There's so much caramel malt in that shit. Like it is like sticky. That beer.
It's a nickel bag.
Even when I gotta like break down and buy a 6-pack of Lagunitas IPA because I'm somewhere that doesn't have, the beer I want to buy, and that's the closest thing I can get to IPA. I'm just like, well. Suck it up, Buttercup. It's time to go back in time.
I don't hate that beer, though.
I got Greg a tall can of Lagunitas IPA as a goof, and he posted on the internet that it was like his favorite beer.
I was shocked. It was damn delicious.
I like Lagunitas.
Not even
IPA.
kidding. It was not the beer it used to be. Let's go back to Nelson here, because as it warms up in the glass, do you ever have like matcha, like bubble teas? Do you ever go have like matcha bubble teas? Okay, never mind. That's what it smells like to me. It's nice.
What's the characteristic of matcha tea, Greg?
I mean, it's a green tea that's powdered, that has like in the bubble form. It's got a sweetness to it. I don't know. You just
So
have
it's
to
more
go
of a
grab
flavor
one.
thing than an aroma thing for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Greg, is this a
All right.
gooseberry bomb?
No, not at all. It's more on like hanging out by a gas station. Like it's got that diesel.
It is a
like,
little
truck
bit
running.
diesel-y. I don't normally feel like I get that diesel-y flavor from
But it's
Nelson,
so fruity.
but I am getting it there. On the finish, it's got a little bit of like there's a little bit of heat on there that like,
Mm-hmm.
You know,
If you
I
like
get a lot of
Nelson,
like candy on the nose, like oh god, those square candies. One of my Starburst. There you go, like a Starbursty kind of thing on the nose. That also it's kind of a when I say vanilla, it's not literally vanilla, but it's kind of like a softer kind of cake kind of thing, kind of like how I would describe the nose on like a hazy
I can see
IPA.
that. Yeah, good call, man.
And it's also a bit dank on the nose at the same time. So it's got everything. It's that dude from Saturday Night
Dude,
Live.
Nelson is such a weird hop.
it's a love it or hate it hop.
I
know?
think
It is.
Nelson is a crop dependent hop, kind of like Mosaic, where like if you
Mhm.
get the dregs of it, it's like those are not great beers, but the good ones are fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, the interview I had, I cut a lot out, and that was one of the things we talked about. What Joe just said, like people love it or hate it. It's not like Sriracha Ace where people are like, "Oh God," but Nelson is like either
Or
way
Sabro,
too
where
dank.
everyone's like, fuck Sabro.
Sabro.
Sriracha Ace, that hop just went away. Like, or did it? Like, at least the hype went away. I'm sure the hop still exists because it's like a super high alpha hop, and its intent was to be used for bittering. But as far as it being used as like a flavor or an aroma hop, that's kind of died off. I don't know. I don't think I've
Whatever
seen
happened to Lotus hops, John?
I don't know if I've ever had Lotus hops. Is that a thing?
I love that hop.
I don't know, man.
Yes.
What's a beer that you had with Lotus hops? Like a Noble beer or something? It sounds like something Noble would do, like Lotus showers or something.
Yeah, I don't remember Lotus hops at all.
Does anyone
Lotus?
remember Lotus hops?
No,
Whatever happened to Lotus?
What the fuck is a Lotus
Yeah.
hop?
Flotus.
Hey,
Are you fucking
hey,
with this,
Chat
Joe?
GPT, what
No.
the fuck's a
Making this shit
Lotus
up?
hop?
Lotus hops were a thing, dude.
No, I googled it, and the first result was
So, like,
buying
next
the
to
hops
Fuggles?
from more beers, so they're at least the homebrew store.
All right.
So it's definitely a hop.
I'm gonna go-
Yeah, I guess it.
I wanna
don't know,
go
maybe
rub
it-
some.
It was released in 2019 from Hopsteiner. Yeah, I don't know. I guess people didn't like them. I don't. That's my answer. It stems from Eastern Gold, followed by a mix of Apollo Cascade. All right, yeah, I don't know. Never even heard of that one. Oh, they have examples. It's in Stone Delicious. That beer is bad.
Yeah, hot take.
You know what, Jason? Like, why do you have to use that beer as the example?
They put it on their website, on the commercial website.
You know who loves that beer and will drink it whenever we're out? Then there's like
Dads.
no other thing. My wife.
Dads do. Okay,
My wife
wives.
loves Delicious.
Yeah, that's a dad beer.
Does your wife like bitter beer, Joe? Yeah, Yvonne does not. So that would.
She was with me, dude. Like, as soon as I got off the hazy train a couple years ago, she's like, give me all the West Coast stuff.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
You're like Ozzy Osbourne off the crazy train, the hazy train. Yeah, dude. Talk about double dry hopped hazy double IPAs.
Yeah, next beer we got up. This is our last beer from Green Cheek, and this is called "Movies Are the New Books." I think Evan mentions how this beer got this name, but doesn't go in depth with it. But I don't know. For me, movies are always the new books, or they are always books, because I'd rather watch movies than read books.
I can appreciate the name of this beer because everyone, when I was little, they'd be like, this is such a good book. I'm like, yeah, I've seen the movie.
Yeah, I'll just wait for the movie.
fucking
That's
gonna
what I'm
read
saying.
Now
Let
it's
me
the
watch
opposite.
it.
People like you watch a show and people are like, actually in the book this happened, and I'm like, I don't care. That's a different medium. I'm just trying to watch this. I'll read a book if I want to read a book, but we're talking about a movie.
I am not I'm not going to say anything yet.
Joe's like, I never learned to read.
Books are a pain in the ass.
That
That's what it
explains
comes
all
down
the video
to.
games.
I have a bad imagination. So, all right, let's listen to Evan talk about movies are the new books.
Movies are the new books.
Yeah, my brother said this to me the other day, where he was talking about like.
You have a brother?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. I don't know.
I have two. One's 5 years older and one's 13 years younger. So movies are the new books. This is a double dry hopped hazy double IPA. This is
double. Okay.
Mostly Citra, and then this new hop varietal HBC 1019.
1019.
And
It's my favorite one.
Yeah,
It's like
it's hard to keep
I figured
track.
that out. Yeah.
It's hard to keep track. As a
all those
brewer.
HBC. What does HBC stand for? Home Body Club.
Hop. Yes, exactly that.
Okay.
No, hop breeding company.
Hop breeding. Okay.
When a hop variety takes about 10 years from start to finish, they get going on a lot of them, and as they've continued to learn, that how important it is for the hop industry, how important it is for the drinker and the customer. Like, there's so much effort that's gone into continuing to try to just create the most tropical. Yeah.
The books of the new movies, is that like on the softer side, or is that a hazy, or whatever?
Yeah, so that's a double dry hopped hazy double IPA, and so that beer, and all of our hazy beers really don't get any bittering additions. They don't get hops until the cool pool.
Oh, okay.
So
the
we're
cool pool.
So we wait till we go through the boil to get rid of a range of things, and then we end up after the boil, we cool down the wort in the kettle, and then we throw in all these hops to really just not extract so much bitterness, but more flavor, aroma, and then texture.
Yeah.
So that like kind of pleasant tannin structure from the hops and everything. And so then after that, we dry hop the hell out of it. And so it's like, these beers, including the Whirlpool editions, are like an 8 pound per barrel or more total amount of hops. And so it's they're pretty aggressive on that front, but they end up being pretty rich and full-bodied from just all of the sugar that's left over after fermentation and everything else. But then with the yeast strain that we use, mixed with the Citra, it really brings a lot of mango character together. And then this like 1019, ends up like bringing out this like, one of the descriptions that was really fun is this like caramelized banana.
Oh, I can get that, like brulee banana. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like and it's such a weird descriptor, but I think it like actually works.
So in the chat, someone mentioned, this is a non sequitur, but the song in the background is Yellow Ledbetter by Pearl Jam. And was it Jason? Did you type? I said I don't know whether I'm the boxer or the bag.
Yeah,
That's a Howard Stern thing, right?
yeah.
Dude, Howard Stern wrote that.
Fucking awesome.
Like, because Pearl Jam was on Howard Stern, and the line I think is, I don't know if he came home in a box or in a bag. And Howard said on a previous interview that he said, I love the line of the song where you go, I don't know if I'm the boxer or the bag, meaning he doesn't know if he's the boxer, the guy hitting the bag, or the bag that's taking the hits. And the last time Pearl Jam was, the whole band, this is the first time they were on the show, they played Yellow Ledbetter, and he sang that in the lyric, and it's a Howard Stern lyric. So,
yeah, I didn't know
fact.
that. I thought that was one of those songs where like the band never clarified the lyrics, so everyone just had to fucking figure it out on their own.
Well, he just spoke about it on Howard Stern, saying he doesn't. I think it was like his brother or something coming home from a war. I don't know. Doesn't know if he came home in a box or in a bag. And
God,
so,
that's horrible.
Yeah, when you type that, I was like, oh shit, that's totally a
Eddie
Howard
Vedder
Stern
famously doesn't really enunciate.
I don't know what else. The rest of that song, I know he says, "Oh hey, hey, hey," and that's it.
You're like, on the hill, on the hill, and I know what again.
It reminds me of like a Creed song or something.
Well,
Totally.
Creed is just
For sure.
ripping off fucking Pro Jam. That's their whole thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Can I ruin this beer for you in one sentence?
No, well, hold on.
Okay.
Before. So the last beer we're doing, like I said, movies are the new books. This is a New England double IPA, like Evan said. It's made with Citra and HBC 1019 hops, and it's 8.6%. So this is a beer that I normally would not buy.
Yeah,
but
the four brewers have not had a
would never
beer
buy
this
this.
milky. Look at this. Like, we have not had a beer this milky in a long time.
Your lighting really
Well,
exaggerates.
fuck it. Someone else do their lighting then. Is that
Yeah, Joe's
that
is
better?
a little more. Well, that does look
It
milky.
is a milky ass beer, dude.
Biffler, how's the pale ale?
Honestly, Greg's got the best lighting for the beer. That looks exactly how it looks.
Yeah.
In real life.
Okay.
It's hop cum, Jason. Just say it.
Okay, Jason, or Greg, what are you going to say to destroy this beer?
I was gonna say it tastes like a key lime pie cheesecake.
I'm just gonna be honest. I don't. This beer is not my favorite. But when he said caramelized banana, that's what that was. It
pops
was
out.
like,
Yeah,
I thought maybe it was like kind of burnt coconutty or something, but it's caramelized banana.
caramelized banana does pop out. Like it's not like a banana brulee thing. I get more of like sort of the citrusy thing that pops out first. That's why I said key lime. But definitely on the background, you get this like big vanilla background for some reason. Like, it's super
Cake
creamy.
batter, bro.
It's almost like a
So
milkshake
creamy.
IPA, right?
So milkshakey, right?
Yeah, this is very sweet.
Like my fingers are sticky from like you could feel it.
And it's not sweetness like alcohol sweetness. It's just sweet.
It's
very
rich,
sweet.
is what this.
I'm saying
This beer
it's
is
almost
rich,
9%,
which is weird to describe a beer that isn't, like a stout.
I agree with that.
But it somebody said
Like a cheesecake.
Cheesecake, yeah, and that's what it is. It feels like taking a bite of cheesecake, where it's like the flavor is really good and it's super rich.
Every bite
but
is
you
woo. Yeah.
don't expect that
Get
out
it.
of a beer.
You're like, woo.
I think if this beer came out 5 years ago, like when the hype craze was like at its peak, it would destroy. Like it would blow fucking minds. This is very well done. I think it's more of a West Coast-ish hazy because it does have a bitter edge to it, somewhat.
Apparently, it's a 4.3 on Untappd, so it's doing pretty good.
No, yeah, but I'm
It's
just saying there's
9%
so
hazy,
many good
Jason. That's what's
hazies out
gonna
there
happen.
right now that
It's
it
double
kind
dry
of
hop.
falls into it gets lost in the mix kind of thing. That's what I meant. But it really does stand out. It's very for a hazy, it's excellent, especially a hazy that's 8.6.
The weird thing about beers in this zone is that hoppiness as we know it, I mean, like as we've experienced it in the last two beers, it kind of goes away, and the flavor profile, it's like they take hops into a weird zone where everything becomes kind of desserty again. It's dessert hops. It's weird.
It's hop custard.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm retracting cheesecake and throwing in custard. It's very custardy.
And it looks like custard.
This is not a bad beer. This is an expertly crafted beer, and it's really good. It's so rich, and it feels like it's like drinking a milkshake. This doesn't taste like drinking a milkshake. It feels like drinking a milkshake. It just feels.
Could
You
you
feel it
imagine
on your
trying to
palate.
drink like a 4-pack of this? It's impossible. There's no way.
No,
No,
it's just so much. It's too much. Like everything about this beer is just extreme, right?
It is heavy.
The desserty character, the milkshakey. Well, I guess it's not as extreme as far as milkshake beers go because there's some that look like literal
Yeah.
ice cream
And as,
in a
This
As
beer
far as
brings the
class,
boys to
but
the
as
yard.
far as a 4.3 on Untappd, the milkshake brings all the boys to the yard. So, as they say it.
It is, yeah. It's very desserty, and I like it, but it's also like I'm having a hard time finishing a pint of it.
I don't love the hop. Like I don't love the flavor of this hop. The banana thing.
Joe, you've said in your when you do triple IPAs that you drink them very, very cold.
Yeah, this is sat out.
This is pretty damn close to a triple IPA. Do you think because it's sat out, like that kind of is messing with
because
you?
even now, like for how warm it is in my garage, like I got a little bit of like the hot burn thing on the back end of it.
Same.
Got a little
Yeah.
bit of that, which I just that's why I drink them cold. The high ABV one, especially you said double dry hopped. Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Correct.
and it's
This is
8.6.
still probably really fresh, right?
I gotta imagine these are super
Yeah, this
fresh.
is 2 weeks, dude. Like this could sit in the can for another probably 3 weeks and be great.
Congeal a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to
Definitely.
hang out. It's a bit green.
I haven't heard that in a while.
Hop custard.
Yeah, it's weird because I don't want to be a hater on what is a good beer, and I think more than anything, it is just in the style category that is not in the zone that is my favorite to drink.
Exactly. Thank you. That's what I was going to say.
It's just so wildly opposite of like we were drinking Nectaron in this economy a little
Yeah.
while ago. Like it's so far from
Go
that.
back to that.
Yeah,
if you
it's
haven't.
such a tremendous, and I don't. I had
Oh.
to finish that to get a glass free for this. I still have some. I still have some of the.
Oh yeah,
Nelson
so you drink that? Holy smokes, give me that.
Wow. Cleans up
Oh,
nice.
it's so nice after that.
It's
Oh,
like
that's actually refreshing.
That beer is Mr. Bubbles on my tongue.
Yeah, it's like scrubbing. It's like, oh shit, there's all this hazy IPA stuff on there. Let me get that right off your tongue for you.
Let me get that for you.
Like, you know,
yeah, movies are the new books. Definitely like a shag carpet of beer. And Nectaron, it's more like tile.
our friend Steven Toomey in the chat says hazy's in the past for me unless it's Treehouse. I don't know. I do feel like hazy is starting to lose momentum for sure.
Yeah. Green Cheek though, definitely pulling some magic stuff.
For sure. But it's not as dominant as it was. Let's just say that. I think
don't know.
the scenes.
Ask him about.
Well, here on the West Coast, maybe it's not, but back there on the East Coast, it's still everything's hazy.
What I've been hearing is that it's slowly shifting over there too. So I think it's kind of. I think hazies have their place. They just shouldn't be the main thing. Like they should be like part of the portfolio. But if you go somewhere and there's like 8 hazies, it's like I turn around and leave.
Well, I think Green Cheek might have 8 hazies on tap. I mean, but they're gonna be different.
Well, if it's 8 out of like 30.
Yeah, there's probably like 2 or 3. There's a single. There's a
you also
double.
can get 9 German style beers.
Right.
Damn
I think
straight.
it's suspect when you go to a brewery and they only have 8 hazies on tap. That's when you turn around and walk out.
Yeah.
Because
same malt base, different hops.
I know a brewery that is exactly that. I'm not going to call them out.
Do you guys know Revision Brewing in Reno?
Yeah, that's Jeremy Warren, who from used to be at God damn it,
Knee Deep,
yeah,
right?
Knee Deep.
So the first time I ever went there is 2015, I think. We walked in, and I'm not kidding you, every single beer on the menu was hazy. There was nothing else. We're like, what do we do?
I'm mad at that guy because he owes me a fucking beer.
Get diarrhea.
I mean, that was years ago. It's not still, I'm sure it's not like that.
Okay.
Still, but the first time I ever went in there.
10 years ago, I drank a Knee Deep beer that I found at Bevmo or some shit. And I was like, yeah, this tastes old. And he was like, oh yeah, we haven't packaged this in forever. This sucks. You should email me and I'll send you a new beer. And so I emailed him. He never did.
Never got it.
You know what?
He
Fuck
He
that
still
guy.
owes.
He's knee deep.
He owes me a fucking beer. Jeremy Warren,
Dude,
Jeremy Warren, you owe me a beer. You promised me a beer 10 years ago. I never got it. You owe me a beer. I'm not saying fuck you, but I'm saying you owe me a beer, man.
Knee Deep was responsible for my getting really into super hoppy beers back in the day because Knee Deep was
Knee
like
Deep,
Simtra and Hopperillo.
Simtra, yeah.
Dude, those beers were crazy good.
And they
They
did
were.
just kind of fall off the map once he left. So I guess he was
No.
the glue holding that shit together.
You know who else brewed there is Zach from Shred. He brewed there back in the day.
Shred.
That Sacramento scene is like its own thing. Like there's a lot going on up there. We should get
It's crazy because
we should get fucking Robert on. I'm sure he could illuminate all the Sacramento drama.
it's just funny because I grew up in the Sacramento area and seeing all these crazy breweries up there is rad. Yeah.
It is good to fucking be back. I miss this show. I miss you guys. I miss fucking the people in the chat. Fucking Ohio Brett. Fucking Steven came out in the chat. Tenor Madness going to Pizza Port. Salmon shit. All you fuckers. Thanks for hanging out.
Thanks
Miss
for
you
hanging
guys.
out, dudes.
I'm glad you're back. And we're going to be back. We're back for fucking real this time.
Yes, Jason wants to make that clear. And I got to say, shout out to you, Jason and Greg, for both stepping up and saying, hey, I mean, I'm not trying to, I don't know. For the longest, when I was in New Brew Thursday going forward, I literally did everything myself. And that was kind of my own thing because I wanted to control everything creatively because only I can make cool stuff. And that's what was going on in my head. And then one day that kind of just was like, you know what? I'm tired of doing stuff. And I love doing the stream and like doing this and hanging out. This is fun. But the work afterwards was kind of, taxing. And so Jason stepping up and saying, hey, let's do this. Let's, take some of this burden off of John and, we'll do a planning meeting.
We're getting a little more organized. Yeah.
Yeah. I really appreciate that. And so thank you guys for doing that. And then Joe, I love having Tim on the show. And it was great, but it kind of worked out well where we met up and I asked you to be on the show and you said you would. And that's really cool. Like, cause you're one of my favorite beer people.
He got the rose.
And I'm happy to have you on the show. I think
I'm stoked that you guys have me.
Joe, you know your shit. You know your shit. You're a great viewpoint. I think you're going to be a good addition. You're fucking. I'm hyped to have you on board. When I heard that you were like considering being on board, I'm like, oh fuck yeah, he'd be a great fit for us. So I'm super hyped, dude.
Hell yeah, dude.
Everybody who's run into us in the last 2 years and been like, are you still doing the show? We're still doing it. We're fucking trying. We're getting out there. We're gonna do the show. We've got a plan. We've got it fucking set up. I think we're back, and I like being back. So, fucking, I'm hyped. I'm hyped.
And I'm just gonna say there may be a return of Cheap Beer Corner in a different.
We've
form.
definitely sketched out an idea for CBC, and I think that'll probably come to fruition pretty soon. So. Any CBC fans that are out there, anybody who misses me drinking garbage beer, which is what I do in my free time, but doing it on camera, you guys might have some good news in the future. So stay tuned.
Hey everyone, John here. Thanks for listening to another episode of 4 Brewers. You can go to 4brewers.com for show notes, past episodes, and photos of all the beers we sample on the show. Go to supporttheshitoutofit.com or patreon.com/4brewers to support the show to get some cool perks and the Patreon exclusive supporter glassware that we send out to our supporters every year for free. Watch all of our video content, including my beer reviews, Cheap Beer Corner, and the occasional vlog at 4brewers.com/YouTube or youtube.com/4brewersshow. Follow us on Instagram at 4brewers and follow us on Untapped at 4brewers. Go to twitch.tv/4brewers or 4brewers.com/live to watch the live stream of our recording sessions and some occasional 4B gameplay. Leave a 5-star review of the show on Apple Podcasts because it really helps us with the rankings and visibility of the show in the Apple Podcast directory. And if you have any feedback, questions, concerns, or you want to send some beers our way, email us at feedback@4brewers.com and brew the shit out of it.